If we are standing in a crowd, it is easy to face it. But if you are standing alone, we feel some slight difficulty in our mind as well as fear. Why is it? It's nothing but you feel that I am unaware of something and somewhere. That is the only reason it is you feel afraid of facing and standing alone a difficult situation. Yes, of course, hardships. This we all would have encountered in our life. In everyday life, we meet with many difficulties and many hardships. And one particular hardship each one is facing is that getting into a job. Is it possible? No, not at all. You have to face many competitive examinations to be placed in a job. Either it may be a government sector or private sector, as I said already. So what are the steps to be taken? That those points were discussed in the previous day's program by Dr. S. Kayalvili, and the ultimate goal of that program or ultimate teaching what we get from that program is that you start traveling in the path of success by stepping each of the letter confidence. That is, you start from the letter C, you gradually go O, N, F, I, D, E, N, C, E. And at one point when you reach the last letter E, that is the destination, that is your success. When you reach it, suddenly you get stammered or feel bitter about yourself and you drown back to the first initial point, that is the letter C. Why is it so? Yes, it is because the fear towards language. We all know language plays a vital role in all kinds of competitive examinations. You would have come across many examinations like TNPSC, UPSC, RRB, etc. and there are many more competitive examinations, and one key element in all those examinations is that you must clear English language. Are we all fluent in English as a language? No. Are we all easily accessible to English as a subject? No. So these two questions are a big nightmare to all those who prepare for competitive examinations. So at this point, this made me to feel about today's topic. So for this, I should thank Dr. Mrs. S. Kayalvili, one of my batchmates, my own friend. She is the assistant professor and head in charge in the Department of English, Bharathiar University Arts and Science College, Modakurchi, Erode district. So the very first discussion we had is what we could do in this program, and it was her suggestion that why not we choose such a platform, because English as a language plays main role in all kinds of competitive examinations, and most of the students or the preparators who prepare for examinations, they get stammered in how and where to start the subject preparation English language and how could we end. So she suggested me I go for this topic and I'll discuss in detail about English for competitive examinations. So at this point, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Mrs. S. Kalaimani, my friend, and I must say one more important factor about her, that she is one of the rank holders in UG, and we both are alumni of this such prestigious institution, Arunmegapal Neander Arts College for Women, and we belong to the first batch of autonomous also. She was one of the initiators in the department activities, I should say. That is, for the past 12 years, we are conducting intercollegiate student seminar and intercollegiate competitions, and recently 3 years back, one of the colleges who came for presentation, that is participation, they have mentioned in the oral feedback that This is the one particular college who focus competitions and seminars mainly for the purpose of students. So that seed was thrown by Dr. Kalivani, I should say. She passed her SLET examination in 2011 and she was awarded PhD degree in 2018. She is the third rank holder in PG in Bhatyar University, and here today I feel very happy to introduce Dr. Kalivani for the upcoming session on the topic English for competitive examinations. Thank you.
A pleasant morning to everybody present here. This is Kalivani, Assistant Professor and Head in Charge, Bharatiyar University Arts and Science College, Mudakuruchi, Erode. I am one of the alumni of Arulmigu Palaniyandavar Arts College for Women. I feel proud and privileged to address my own sisters in my college. Before starting my topic, I wish to express my gratitude to Dr. N. Bhuvaneshwari ma'am, Principal, and Dr. Selvi ma'am, my own ma'am, Associate Professor and Head Department of English, and my friend Katyayani for giving me an wonderful opportunity to address you friends. The topic which I have taken today is English for competitive examination. The things which I am going to discuss here is not new to you, but still I am going to share my own experience related to the particular topic. So we know the competitive examination, we know English, but still I am going to tell what is the role of English in the competitive examination. So I have divided my lecture into 4 topics, 4 sections. The first one is competitive examinations, today's perspective, then requirements to crack and clear the competitive examinations. The third one is syllabus of competitive examinations. Then fourth one is role of English in competitive examination. So these are the 4 heads I am going to discuss with you friends. Yeah, let us begin with competitive examinations. So whenever we are getting news about the competitive examinations in news or in TV or in newspaper or in social media, we used to thought it is like a marathon race. So many people will be participating, will be writing the exam. How am I going to get through it? This is a problem existing in all the young minds. But the reality is not this marathon race. The reality is somewhat different. So here the reality is, it is after all a running race. So first, we want to erase the preconceived notion that we have so many competitors among us. Friends, I hope you know the difference between the marathon race and the running race. Here in marathon race, so many people can participate, but in running race, it's totally different. We have limited number of participants, that too they are competent persons, one who are well versed in the running race. So here we have some targets, some 100 or 200 meters. So we have the well competent persons in running race. So here we can take this example and put it in competitive examination. Friends, I am going to tell the statistics. For example, if a call for is come under TNPSC, they have called for 2000 posts. So they might give some 1 month time for applications. So after the end of the month, after the end of the application date, surely we'll get the news that for the 2000 post, 50,000 people might have applied. So this may be a shock to us. So out of 2000, 50,000 are participating and competing. How we are going to compete with all those people? But the reality is not like that. Here, out of 50,000 people, some 30,000 people are applying for the exam only for the sake of applying. So they do not know the syllabus. They do not want to clear. Just for simply for the sake of applying for the exams, they are applying and they are writing. So out of these 30,000 people, some 5,000 people won't come back and write the exams. Then remaining 20,000, some 10,000 people, they know the syllabus. That's it. They don't have time to prepare. They don't have interest to prepare. Simply by knowing the syllabus, they are coming for the exams. Then remaining 10,000 people, those 5,000 people, they know the syllabus, they might have started preparing, but still they couldn't complete the syllabus. They are in the halfway. The remaining 5,000 people, they are the real competitors. They might be knowing the syllabus, they might be started preparing, then they might have the aim, they might have the need, so they'll be achieving it. So just imagine who are the competitors. We have only 5,000 people as the competitors. So the application received is 50,000, still the competitors, their roll is only 5,000. So you just keep that in mind. So whenever we are applying for competitive examinations, the applications are more, so no need to prepare. Don't think like that. Though the applications, number of applications are more, the real competitors is only less. It is only like the running race, it is not a marathon race. So here I want to tell an example from a poem. I hope you know this poem. It is Rona taken by Robert Frost. He is an American writer. So the first two lines of a poem: two roads diverged in the yellow wood, and sorry, I cannot travel both. So we know that Robert Frost is an English teacher, poet, as well as a farmer. Once he travelled in a forest. At the time he found two roads. One road is travelled by almost all the people. It is very clear, so he can travel that way. Then he saw the second way. It is less travelled by, so no one have used the path, so it is full of leaves and dust. So he thought and he decided to travel in the road which is less travelled by, so that has made all the difference in his life. It is the life experience of Robert Frost. We can apply the same in our own life. So here I have shown you two paths. The one is which is almost travelled by everyone. The other one is which is less travelled by people. So here the road which is travelled by everyone is, so everybody is applying for the examination, for the sake of applying, for the sake of writing exams. So many are applying. Whether you are going to do that, or else here is a new road. So you are going to compete with only the 5,000 people who are really preparing for the exam. Then you are going to fix your aim, you are going to do the hard work, you are going to crack and clear the exam. So I have shown the two paths. It is in your hand to select the path which you can reach the success. The second topic I am going to deal with is requirements. Requirements to clear these competitive examinations. So here requirements is mandatory in all the fields. When we are going for college, we have some requirements. So we have to pass our +2 examination, then only we can get seats in undergraduation. When we want to go to post-graduation, we need to clear our undergraduation, then only we can move. So in that way, we need some requirements. It is not a degree, we need some more requirements to crack these particular examination. So here I have given some pictures. Actually, when I was in live classes, I used to ask questions to students, but now as it is a recorded version, I couldn't ask questions to you. Still, I'll share my experience. So I hope you know this picture. It is a film about friendship. So I have shown the same picture in a lecture in a college. So one boy have stood up and he started narrating the whole movie. Continuously he talked for 15 minutes together. Then he even told that this particular film is released in the year 1993. Actually, this is a new information for me. Then I asked him, what is your date of birth? He said, my date of birth is 1993. So, though he was not there in that particular time, though he was too young, he is telling all those information related to this particular movie. Then the next, it is also a movie. For this also I got good answers from the students. So they started criticizing these particular scene for 10 to 20 minutes altogether. So they started arguing, discussing on this particular picture. Then I have two more pictures too. So here I hope you know what is this. This is the lines of a particular song. That it is not at the beginning, not at the end. It is in the middle. Within the fraction of second they have found out. Yeah, I hope you know what is this. So here these mobile phone become the part and parcel of our life. It becomes one of our parts of the body, even we can tell. Then these things, you know, we are doing it regularly. We are updating our status, we are taking selfie, we are posting it in FB or social media. So I have asked them, why you are doing all those things? You are watching movie. Whenever they are asking questions in movie, you are telling it very clearly. Then you are doing these things regularly. Why, I have asked. The answers given by the students is they have the interest. They have the interest, they have the love, and they have the passion to do all these works. I hope even you have the love and passion and interest to watch movies, to use mobile phones, to take selfies or updating status or playing games in mobile phones and whatnot. But the thing is, you have interest. So here, I need a change from you. You can change the particular interest and love and passion towards this competitive examination. So if you want to clear the competitive examination, really, if you have the aim, you have to create your interest. So for example, if you have some 100% interest in using mobile phones, at least spend some 20% interest in preparing for the competitive examination. First, you have to create the interest. So it is not in the other's hand, it is in our hand. There is no need to depend on others to create the interest. It is in our mind, so we can create our own interest in preparing for the competitive examination. So first requirement is interest, love and passion. So whatever thing we love, surely we'll get it. So in that way, you have to love the particular job and the competitive examinations, surely you can clear it. So that is the first requirement. Then I hope you can see this picture. So these particular two persons are searching for water. So they are thirsty. That's why they are searching for water. Finally, they got it. Then these birds are searching for the food. I hope we do not find these kind of situations in our life. So we have water, we have food. So these are given by our parents on time, I hope. So there is no need to bother about these two things in our life. We are living like these particular bird. So here this bird is very happy. There is no need to bother about the food. He is having so many different types of food around him or her. So we are living the life like this. So whenever our mother used to ask, what shall I prepare for the breakfast? What shall I prepare for the dinner? So we are getting it everything with the help of our parents. So here we don't know the value of food and water actually, but still if we are striving for it, if we couldn't get it, surely we will know the ways and needs of getting it. So here again a poem by Emily Dickinson. I hope you know the writer. He is an American writer. So whenever we are uttering the word Emily Dickinson, we used to tell she is a writer of the poem about death, but still she wrote so many optimistic poems as well. This is one of the optimistic poem of Emily Dickinson. Here it's all about the success. Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires a sourest need. So the person, one who get the success, do not know the definition of success very clearly. But the person, one who got the failure, they know the definition of success very clearly. This is the information given by Emily Dickinson. Even it is applicable in our real life. So when we got the success, we won't turn back and see how we got it. But when we attain the failure, surely we'll be thinking why we got failure, then what we have to improve. In that way we used to think. So here failure is very important. Failure is the stepping stone to success. Then she told one more information that if you want to achieve the success, you should have the need, the sorest need. So for that only I have shown the before pictures. So if you want to get water, we should have a need. If you want to food, we should have a need. In the same way, you should have a need to clear the competitive examination. You might have the need, or else you should have an aim. Aim or need makes you to reach the success. So here the next information is plan and execute. Again the example from literature. It is from Battle of the Books by Jonathan Swift. There Jonathan Swift have compared the ancient and modern writers with the spider and the bee. Here I have given these two examples for the planning and execution. Though it is two small insects, they have very well planned and they have executed the plan. So in that way you have to plan very well for preparing the competitive examination. Then you have to execute the plan. So planning is very important. In the same way, executing the plan is at most important. Then the last one is hard work. So whatever we want to achieve, we should do the hard work. So hard work never fails. Don't try to do the smart work. Hard work never fails. So you can do the hard work in preparing competitive examination. So these are the requirements to crack the competitive examination. The interest, passion, need, plan and execute, and hard work. If you have all these things in your hand, surely you can clear the competitive examination. There is no need to depend on others to get all those things. It is in your mind and heart to get all those things with you. You keep these particular things in your hand, surely you can clear the competitive examination. In the second section, we are going to deal with is competitive examinations. So I hope you all know what are the competitive examination in the current scenario. So we have TNPSC, UPSC, SSC, RRB, banking, NET and SET examination. So let us begin with TNPSC. So we know Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. So this particular organization is conducting examination to recruit people in and around Tamil Nadu. So they are conducting some 70 different type of exams. So here we have Group 1, Group 2, Group 2A and Group 4 exams. So these TNPSC exams are conducted regularly. So they even released the academic calendar in the beginning of the January itself. So we can find how many vacancies are there, then when they are going to conduct the exam, even the date we are getting it in TNPSC. So here we have 200 marks, 100 mark is specifically allotted for a language. Here we can write in Tamil as well as in English. So here I am going to talk about English. So here we know in English the syllabus is only vocabulary and grammar. So the thing is, it's very simple actually, English grammar. So we have only some 10 topics, including the parts of speech. We have some 10 topics. So here gaining marks is very easy when compared to Tamil. We know that our Tamil is a classical language. So we have difficult grammar part in our mother tongue, but English is not like that. The grammar is very easy. Even the vocabulary is very simple. So easily we can get some 90 or 95 in English, but it is difficult in our mother tongue. So if we are selecting English as a language in TNPSC, easily we can score higher marks. Then the next is we have Union Public Service Commission, Staff Selection Commission and Indian Railways. So for these three exams are conducted by central government, that is Government of India. So we can get posts all over India. So here it is also the exams are conducted regularly. We are getting the exams regularly. Let us start with Staff Selection Commission, that is SSC. So here the Government of India is conducting exam to recruit the people in and around India. So here we have Group C and Group B cadres. So the basic qualification is 10th plus 2 and an undergraduation. So here we can get the jobs like technical as well as non-technical jobs. So few of the jobs have the direct interviews, others it's only based on the written exams. So here the eligibility I have told already, but here it is for your kind information that the age limit is only up to 27 years. So it is for you youngsters, so you can very well clear this particular exam. So your age is maybe 21 or 22. So it's very easy for you. Older people cannot write this particular exam. So the competitors are very less. So you can crack these exams, SSC. So it is conducted regularly. It is in online mode. Then the syllabus for these particular exam is general intelligence and reasoning, numerical aptitude, general English and general awareness. Actually, beginning from the TNPSC, UPSC, SSC or railway or banking, the basic syllabus is same. So in all the syllabus we have the reasoning, we have the logic, we have the aptitude, we have the general awareness. So including that we have English as well. So these are the 5 topics that is occurred in all the type of exams. So here also we have English. It is all the vocabulary and grammar. The syllabus I have given here. So it's vocabulary, grammar, spotting the error. It comes under the grammar. Synonyms, antonyms, homonyms. It is vocabulary. Then we have sentence structure, spellings, one word substitutions, idioms and phrases. So all these topics we can put under the vocabulary and the grammar. Then we have Union Public Service Commission. It is conducted by the central government. So here we have Group 1 cadre, as well as we have IAS, IPS and IFS officers. Here we have 3 exams, 3 stages. First one is prelims, the second one is main, the third one is interview. So prelims, we have English. The same way main exam, we can take English literature as optional paper. So it's very simple. Actually, if you refer the syllabus of English literature in UPSC exam, it's very simple. It's like TNPSC. So comparing to history or some other subject, English literature is very easy. Then in interview, we should have the communication. So if you are literature students, if you are very well versed in communication, it will be useful for this UPSC examination. Then here I have given the main paper, that is English literature paper. So we have essay writing, reading comprehension, thesis writing and the translation. So reading comprehension is there in all the exams. Okay, starting from TNPSC, UPSC, SSC and RRB exams, we have the reading comprehensions. I hope we are doing this from 6th standard. So it's very easy for us. Then we have these bank exams. So here, so the opportunities are very much in these bank exams. Daily they are opening the branches in so many places. Even in villages we have the banks. So here these number of vacancies are increasing day by day. So we can try this one. So we have so many banks. So here they are conducting exams for bank probationary officer. So initially we have to work under the designation assistant managers or deputy managers, but within 1 or 2 years they are promoted to managers. So even you can see nowadays in bank we can find only the youngsters in the bank. So few people are completing their undergraduation either in arts or science or engineering. Simply they are preparing for the bank exam. Within a year they are cracking the exam and they are sitting as an assistant manager. Within 2 years they are promoted as a managers. So their starting salary is 30 to 40,000. So even if you are applying for the clerical post, the starting salary is 20 to 25. With the examination we can promote it to some other position as well. So there we have specialist officers, IT officer, HR, marketing. So we have so many fields. So the basic qualification is you have to complete your undergraduation. Then the syllabus is one and all the same for all the exams. So here the banks are recruiting regularly. These are the banks, they are recruiting regularly. Every year they are doing it. Then here in banks we have an exam called IBBS. It is a common entrance exam conducted by Institute of Banking Personnel Selection. So once you clear these particular exam, some of the banks are recruited directly. In some other banks like SBI and RBI, we have the separate exams, but the syllabus is one and the same for IBBS, even for SBI and RBI. So here I have given the exam pattern. So here there are 2 phases. The first one is written test. Then we have prelims. The last one is interview. Here for the main exams and the written test, we have the syllabus here. The same syllabus is repeated. Here aptitude, reasoning. Here also we have English. In the main paper we have English. So the aptitude, reasoning and general awareness is common in all the exams. In the same way English is common in all the exams. Once you started train these things, surely you can clear the competitive examination. But before that you have to fix your goal. Whether you're going for TNPSC or UPSC or bank exam, you have to fix your goal. Then you can download the syllabus and you can start it preparing. But the thing is, these are all the things you're going to do it. For the quantitative aptitude and reasoning and general awareness, you can download the question and you can practice. For English language, it's very simple. You're going to do with reading comprehension, vocabulary and grammar. So finally, I'll tell how you're going to prepare for these 3 topics. So here also in bank exams, they're asking reading comprehension, spotting errors, sentence correction, jumbled sentences, vocabulary and grammar. Then for all these exams, what you are going to practice? There's only 3 things. The first one is reading comprehension, the second topic is grammar, third one is vocabulary. So how you are going to practice the reading comprehension? It's very simple, friends. You just read some 1 or 2 pages in English every day. You can read newspaper, no problem. If you are not getting newspaper, Even you can Google the news. Okay, whenever we are type Google, under that we can find so many news. What interests you, you can read the particular news. While reading it, read it very clearly. You try to understand what is the meaning of the particular passage and find some new words in the particular passage. So if you are reading it regularly, you can develop your reading comprehension as well as you can develop your vocabulary. So they are not asking that much difficult question. The questions are very easy and simple. So coming to grammar, so we have some notion grammar is very difficult, but in English it's not like that. So here we have parts of speech. So we know that what is noun, verb, adjective and adverb. So this is one part. Then in the conversion we have active and passive voice. Then we have direct and indirect speech. We have simple, compound, complex. We have sentence pattern. So that's it. If you are well versed in these kinds of grammar, surely you can crack this exam. For reading the grammar, you can find so many books in market, or else even if you Google and get it, surely you can find so many YouTube lectures. Then you can find so many exercises. First you just understood what is what, then go for exercises. So for example, if you start with the noun, you just know what is noun. So actually we might have attended so many classes on noun by English teachers. Still if you started searching for it, it will be very easy to find out what is the grammar part actually. So you first know what is what, then try to practice the same things by writing some exercises. If you spend some half an hour for reading, the same half an hour for grammar, so within a month, surely you can complete all those grammar topics in English. There is no need to get help from other people. You may think I need an English teacher again to help me to know this grammar. Not like that. You have ample number of opportunities in mobile. You have mobile with you. You have Google. You have YouTube. Whatnot. We have everything with us. The thing is you have to use it in correct way. So these are the three important aspects you want to know to write these competitive examinations. Then I have given the syllabus, that is you might have learned your part 2 English. If you are English or science students, you have 4 papers in English. If you recollect the same things again, it will be very useful for this competitive examination. If you are computer science or some other commerce majors, you might have learned some 2 papers. It is more than enough. You just recollect again the same topics which the teachers have taught you already. So you start from the known to unknown. That's why I have given here part 2 English. So here I have given a few examples in the question papers of TNPSC and UPSC. So here antonym they have asked. We know truth, the opposite is falsehood. This is simplest question, I hope. Then they have asked the articles. We know useful before we used to get. Then they have asked the question, identify the positive degree. So it's very simple. By seeing the word very few itself, we can find it is a positive degree. Others we have the word called than, so it is a comparative degree. Then here they have asked, iron is the most useful of all the metals. There the definite article is there, so it is a superlative degree. Most is there, it is a superlative degree. It's very simple. So likewise they are asking questions. So here I have given few examples. The topics which is covered in all the competitive examinations are given here. So the last one is, so up to that we have talked about the competitive examination which is related to non-teaching. So here teaching field we have NET and SET examination. So here NET, National Eligibility Test. So these tests is conducted in 84 subjects in humanities. Then CBSE is conducting these particular exam. So it is conducted twice a year. The basic qualification here is you have to complete your post-graduation with 55%. There we have one more options like Junior Research Fellowship. So if you clear these particular exam with highest score, you can get JRF from the central government. Then you can receive the SRF after 3 years. So for 5 years you can get the salary from central government and you can do your research and PhD in any university which you want. The amount they are giving us 31,000 per month. Then if you are going for SRF 35,000 per month. Then other than that they are giving some 30,000 per year for the remaining 3 years. So here we have 2 papers. First one is general paper, the second one is our own subject. So here I have given the percentage, 55% you have to get in PG exams. Here we have age limit only for the JRF. For NET, we do not have any age limits. There is no negative markings. Then here the entry pay is 57,700. It is one of the highest paying government job actually. So if you planning for PG, try to clear your NET exams with JRF. So for 5 years you can do your research and you can get the salary. After that surely you will be getting some government jobs. So if you are planning for the PG, you can write these exams. So you want to wind up with your UG, try to write all those exams and get a government job. Thank you friends. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity given.